Derek, big 3 games coming up, next kind of 7 days, League Cup quarter-final sandwiched in there as well. Generally speaking, how have preparations gone this week?
Yeah, well, we feel it is a significant week. Obviously 2 league games, St Mirren Saturday, Ross County next Saturday here. It's a team that's in and around us, and then obviously, as you mentioned, the cup semi-final place up for grabs that we're going after. So, hopefully when we come out of this week, we're pleased with our work. We've picked up some good points in the league and also get ourselves into the semi-final. So we've mentioned that to the players about the added importance of that focus, certainly that motivation, and the importance of meeting that responsibility to go and try and do as well as we can this week. We do feel that there is certain periods in a season where it seem more important than others. We feel this is a significant week for us, and we're disappointed that we never won the game last week against Hearts, because it would have been a great week's work, to be honest. Winning 2 home games back to back, we know the obvious advantage of that. The fact that we never quite managed to do it was a disappointment. But I think when we look back at the cold light of day, the 2 home games, the performances were good and strong. There was a lot more positive than not. But we feel as though, certainly in the Hearts game, that when we were 2-0 up, we've got to be far more difficult to score against at that moment, and try to enjoy being 2-0 up and being in charge of the game and show that authority in the game. But when you're up against a team, we finished third last season, there's a lot of attacking players on the pitch, you've got to be fully concentrated all the time, and we're just disappointed that we've not managed to get all 3 points. But in saying that, we move on quickly. We feel as if going into the St Mirren game, although they're a team in decent form, 4 wins out of 6, they've shown what can be done. They've elevated themselves into the top half. I think they were 3rd or 4th in the league at the minute, and it shows what can be done if you can navigate those win after win. And we're probably searching for that, but I feel as though we're improving as we go along.
As I alluded to there, it's quite a busy period between now and the World Cup break. Have you set the boys any targets for that period at all? Yeah,
well, we've got, without giving anything away, obviously first target League Cup is to make sure we get a semi-final in January to look forward to. We want to go to Hampden, we want that shot at it, and to do that we're going to have to beat Dundee United here, something we know we're capable of doing. We feel as though we are, and we'll look forward to that comes round. But we're also in a run of games between now and when the World Cup starts of, we don't have the old firm to contest. We've actually got a good balance of games at home, and we want to make sure that the players and I have spoke about it often enough about what we want to be, how the league table looks like going into that World Cup. So that's the only targets we've set for now. In terms of the full season, I think it's important that we just don't look too far ahead, but try and deal with what we can affect, and what we can affect is the next 3 games.
You mentioned last week that the Hearts match was played a bit like a cup tie, which I thought was quite interesting. Does that type of fast and ferocious tempo reflect the kind of style of play you want to see from a Kelly team?
Yeah, I've said often enough, I even felt last season we were trying to play cup football through our league, and try and treat every game as if, certainly last season, it was must win really. There was games that we had to win the title. We couldn't afford too many slip-ups, and thankfully we managed to do that most weeks. This week, well, there's not the same expectation this season, to win every week. I still feel we've got to play with that in that same gear, that kind of mode, that kind of playing with the passion and tempo that I think suits us, particularly at home when we've got the crowd here, and we've got to show that we can get after teams and have a confidence. But there's also times to offset that by being smart, being streetwise, manage games properly, being difficult to break down, and getting that balance between attacking and defending is always any manager's biggest conundrum. And what we're hoping to try and do, home or away, is to try and play cup football, try and show how much the team want to win, but also do it with that bit of real thought as well.
Yeah, and just looking ahead to tomorrow, finally, are we pretty much back to full fitness squad-wise? Any injury concerns?
Just the 3 boys. Young Ryan Alabisu's back. He managed to make the bench on Sunday against Hearts. He wasn't fully fit for that one, but we thought he might be able to give us something. He was back with the physio Monday, Tuesday, and we've had him back with us Wednesday, Thursday now, so he's good to go for this one. We also have Fraser Murray and Liam Donnelly making significant progress. Both of them have got a chance for Tuesday, and it's only wee Scott Robinson who's doing brilliant, to be fair to him, but it'll probably be after the World Cup before we actually see him back on the pitch, although we are expecting him to be back training.